Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. Today I am going to bring you a quick fire book haul. So the last time I did a book haul was my winter book haul. So it's now spring and I have accumulated a lot of books over the last couple of months. So I'm going to share with you the 25 books that I have recently added to my shelves over the last few months. Some of them I have bought, some of them are book boxes, and a couple of them were sent to me as well. So I'm going to quickly fire through these guys. Some of the books I have no idea what they're about. So I'm going to keep things brief. So let's get into it. The first book that I want to show you is Murder Road by Simone St. James. This is an Evernight exclusive. This is the first horror thriller special edition that I've ever bought. So this is quite special and it's absolutely stunning. Like, I think this is like my favorite edition of this book. So the end papers are lovely too, and the actual hardback. The actual hardback is stunning. So this is a thriller book that obviously is centered around murder on a road. So I'm intrigued to read this at some point soon. And yeah, I mean, I love this edition. It is so stunning. Next up, we have Our Hideous Progeny. I'm hoping that's how you pronounce that, by C.E. McGill. So this is a story, I'm guessing, that is kind of old school. I have a feeling that looking at this cover, it's going to be gothic in style, and I love gothic books, so I'm really hoping that this is going to be a winner. And I think I remember hearing that this has some kind of Frankenstein connection, and the reason I bought it was because of that reason. I want to kind of see if other stories based on Frankenstein will be a favorite, because I didn't enjoy Frankenstein as a book itself. So I am wanting to try these inspired books, so to speak, to see if they are ones that I can connect with. I don't want to read too much about this book. And then I bought two books in the Waterstones, and that is God Killer by Hannah Kinnear and A Head Full of Ghosts by Paul Tremblay. So I bought these at the same time, so that's why I'm showing you them together. They're not connected at all. This is a horror, this is fantasy, but I am really intrigued. But I really want to read more by this author, so I did pick this up when I was on that book trip. And then also God Killer is a popular book recently. It centers around a girl whose family is killed by a god. She becomes a god killer and is seeking revenge, I assume. So everyone has said that this is incredible. So I wanted to pick it up, and I'm hoping to get around to reading this soon. Next up, we have two books I picked up in a charity shop when I went back down to England for a wedding, because I do stumble into secondhand bookstores a lot. So I picked these both up. The Melancholy Death of Oyster Boy and Other Stories by Tim Burton. This is a short story collection by the director, my favorite director, so I just knew I had to pick this book up. It's so stunning. I can't wait to read this. And then also Cabal by Clive Barker. Don't know how to pronounce it, but we're going with that. I have no idea what this is about. I bought this simply because I love The Hellbound Heart by this author, and I'm trying to read more books by this author. So this is my second Clive Barker book that I own. Next up, we have four books that came in the Abominable book box. They all came in different boxes, but I'm just going to show you them all together. So first up, we have Red River 7 by A.J. Ryan. What Kind of Mother by Clay McLeod Chaplin. Then we have A Good House for Children by Kate Collins. And we have Black Sheep by Rachel Harrison. So out of the 4, this is the only one that I have read, as I received an ARC for this book, and I absolutely loved reading this book. This is a story that centers around a girl who separates herself from her dysfunctional family, trying to make a life on her own, essentially, but gets pulled back into the drama when a wedding comes up that she's invited to. So she goes back and gets thrusted into the chaos that is her family where she grew up. And so you follow her story from there. This is a fun read. It's so devilish and such a fun ride. So I do really recommend checking this out if you haven't yet. And the other 3 I do want to read for another video project, so you may see these at some point soon. Next up, we have My Throat, An Open Grave by Tori Bovalino. I picked this one up simply because I absolutely adored The Devil Makes 3 and I want to read more by this author. I will also be seeing her at a book festival soon, so I'm hoping to read this one before then so I can get this one personalized. And then we have Luckenbooth by Jenny Fagan. This one, again, I've not read yet. I picked it up in a charity shop in Edinburgh. This book is set in Edinburgh in the 1910s. So this one is like a thriller type of story, and it's giving like haunted house vibes. So I wanted to pick this one up for that reason. It's screaming like fall, so I may end up reading this in the autumn to give me that like creepy haunted house thriller type story set in the 1910s in the city where I live. I think this one is going to be a fun time and I can't wait to read it. Next up, we have Station 11 by Emily St. John Mandel. I haven't read this one yet. I don't know much about it. I picked it up because I found it in a charity shop and I don't often find books that I've heard of that I want to read all that much. So when they pop up, I buy them. So I bought it. Hopefully I read it sometime soon. But I do think that this is going to be like a apocalyptic, maybe cosmic based atmospheric story. But I am intrigued to really delve into this and kind of learn what it is. Next up, we have The City of Stardust by Georgia Summers. I went to her book event for this book. That's where I bought it. And I read it like literally the week after. It was an incredible fantasy. This is like a story around a girl who is trying to break a curse in every generation, and Everly gets taken, and she is trying to fight that curse and essentially find a key to solving this curse that's placed upon her family so that she can survive. So it's so intriguing. I really love the outcome of this story as well. I didn't think I would enjoy this one as much as I did, but it was a fun time. And then we have The Vegetarian. So I'm intrigued. I am reading this one this month for a book club, the Midnight Society book club. So I am intrigued to really find out what this is about. I haven't read too much into it because I want to be more surprised when I read my books. So that's why I don't read a lot of synopses in these videos anymore. But I am intrigued to find out more about this story. Next up, we have another one I found in a charity shop, which is The Woods Are Dark by Richard Lehman. This is the first Lehman book that I've ever bought. I've never read from this author before, so I wanted to pick this one up. It's an 80s edition, but is practically brand new. There is no marks whatsoever on this book. So knew that I had to buy it. Not entirely sure what it's about, but I am intrigued to delve into this author's work and explore the mind of Lehman and his books. Next up, we have 2 books that came in 2 different Abominable boxes as the pre-loved books that we get. And the first one, I have no idea how to pronounce this. I don't think I'm going to try, but it is this book by James Herbert. And then the other one is Midnights by Dean Koontz. Again, I've not read this one yet. It's a chunky book. and I am terrified to delve into these ones. So these are some vintage pre-loved books that came in Abominable. They are really loved. They are so used, but I still find those types of books really fun to have. So I am intrigued to read these at some point soon. So yeah, those are the ones that came in my Abominable book box. And then we have the Formidable Miss Cassidy. This book came to me from Tandem Collective when I was joining the read along for this book. I really enjoyed reading this. This follows Miss Cassidy, who is living in the 1800s. She moves to Singapore to kind of live a life. She becomes a companion for someone, and then she just moves through life. We follow that journey. And she's not just somebody who is a companion or a nanny, she has something special about her. And we kind of delve into Southeast Asian folklore. So we have Pontiacs in this story, and it's such a fun ride. It's fun to learn more about the world and explore different folklore in this story. So this one was a fun ride. Not many people talk about it, but I am really glad that I got a chance to read this. Next up, we have Work-Life Balance. This again was another tandem read-along that I did. This is the first graphic novel that I've ever read. I will link my vlog down below for that video, but I don't really enjoy this one. Spoiler. This one is centered around folkloric demons who are working, and their higher-ups are horrible, so they stage a revolution and you follow it from there. I like the plot and the storyline, learning about all of the different folklore entities and that side of things, but I think the format doesn't work for the overall story. That's why I didn't enjoy this one as much, but it was really fun to give this a go and read my first graphic novel. Next up, we have The Nesting by CJ Cook. This is like my favorite book now. It is incredible. It's a Nordic thriller that centers around nature's revenge. And yeah, I'm not going to say too much more about it. This is incredible. Cannot wait to meet this author at a book festival so I can get this personalized, as it is one of my favorite books now. Next up, we have Bright Young Women by Jessica Knoll. This is around women in the sorority that Ted Bundy killed, and I'm intrigued to read from that perspective. Quickly, the last two books, because I am running out of time. The Ballad of Never After by Stephanie Garber. Wanted to read this. Fairy tale book. Yeah, loved it. And Red Rising by Pierce Brown. This one is an incredible fantasy. Cannot wait to delve into the other ones. This was so much fun. And there you have it. Those are the books that I've hauled recently. I hope you have enjoyed. Let me know if you've read any of them as well. I would love to know. So until next time, keep your pages turning and embrace the darkness. Bye!